Did my swim team sisters, Seattle Summer Swim League, count as my sisters? That was 1999 to 2010. So I'm filming this Tuesday, 24 December 2024. I'm Tanis Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. I'm Tanis Coralee, she, her, hers of Graceland. I'm going to provide my perspective on whether I viewed my swim team sisters from when I competed for a club team in the Seattle Summer Swim League, 1999 to 2010, 12 consecutive seasons, as my sisters. So I competed for 12 consecutive seasons, so 1999 to 2010 inclusive, and at the beginning of that and the end of that, I was part of a program on the team. We had big and little sisters, and so if we were an 8 and under, we were paired with somebody who was the senior age group, or 13-14 age group. And so for me, I was an 8 and under, 6, 7, 8, and then they started me early on being a big sister, if I recall correctly. So it was either 12 or 14, and then 15, 16, 17. So I was in the program for over 5 years. Non-consecutive, but over 5 years. And I made it far enough on the swim team to be a big sister. Which I think I was the only person, in my family to do that. But yeah, okay. So did my sisters, and we were paired with our big or little, big sister or little sister, did I call them my sisters? And did I view them as that? And what was kind of the culture there? So it was actually, interestingly enough, a little similar to the sorority in sense it was actually a formative experience for my sexual orientation identity, which is I am asexual. And that, so most of us had like family outside of the team. So I think some people kind of decided to approach it as treating them as their sister. Maybe is a better way of phrasing it. Instead of like being like, this is my sister, it was like they treated them like their sister. And I think that was kind of the mentality there. I was kind of more of, I didn't like to be touched. I was a younger sibling and I got manhandled a lot, and so that comes from kind of physically domineering, abusive older sibling for me. And so the don't touch me thing started before I was on swim team, and then I was on swim team. And some of the, I'm a 6-year-old out there, and there's like the other 6-year-olds, and they're like really excited, and they're like give each other hugs, and I'm like that little punk that's sitting there on the bench, waiting, and I'm like see him coming, and I'm like inside but not actually saying it. Don't touch me, please don't give me a hug, please don't touch me. And so they get closer, be like that, like 15-year-old walking at me, or a 16-year-old, like they're 10 years older than me, like, so they're giant, and they're like coming at me, and they got candy and a sign, and that's nice, but please don't touch me. And so what I would do instead, smile. Like, okay, aren't I a cute kid? I come in peace, but please don't touch me. So I think, and so I kind of learned, a lot of people liked giving their big or their little hugs, and I was just kind of, I'm like awkward, like just a little standoffish, because I don't like physical contact because of that kind of history of that. But also in general, I'm not a expressing through emotion with even within the family sometimes. I love my mom and my dad and the dog, so that kind of thing. So it's there we go. So I would say no for me. However, I think it was used more as like, because a lot of us did have siblings, the term was used sister without like big sister or little sister, because it kind of, especially in the senior age group, it kind of becomes, we've been here long enough that we should know what we're referring to if we're on a pool deck. And especially if a number of us had siblings towards the beginning, but the siblings dropped off the team or they graduated. So then it would be like, if we were using the term sister, it's not an identifier of a family member, right? Because they're not even there. They're not competing. They're not on the team. So it did become more prevalent in that sense of like being a context specific. If somebody is on the team and they're the only person from their family on the team and they're 17 years old, they can use the term sister because that should be very identifying, as it means their little sister. So it was a little bit of that component to it. But yeah, so it was one of those ones where I learned, you know, like I already knew it was a little bit different in terms of sexual orientation and just like touching. And for me, so touching goes in with sexual orientation identity for me, and especially understanding it and like that's part of it for me. And so that goes back to swim team, 6, 7, 8 years old. I'm just being like, smile, you know, and be nice and that kind of stuff. But I was just, and even when I did give my big sister, swim team sister, big sister, so the sister older than me that I was paired with each year, when I did give them a hug, because it changed each year, who my big sister was. So, you know, when I did give them a hug, I didn't push it. I didn't want further interaction. Whereas some people, like, really wanted more physical contact. I was not that one. But yeah. So I enjoyed having big sisters, and I enjoyed having little sisters. So I'd say that terminology was the terminology I used. And my big sister and my little sister. So when I was 6, 7, 8, I referred to my sister as my big sister, my swim team sister. And then when I was in the upper ages, it was my little sister. So there we go. Did my swim team sisters, the Seattle Summer Swim League count as my sisters, 1999 to 2000.